Alright, welcome back to it. Appreciate it if you're still, tagging along for all this shit. So, we're cleaning up some parts here, using some Ecolab industrial degreaser. It's good for like automotive parts, machinery, all that kind of stuff. So you just kind of dilute it, throw it in a bottle, and pretty much good to rock. But I kind of just wanted to show y'all where I was at with just cleaning some of these parts, kind of like what they're starting like, what the end result's probably going to be, and then yeah, I mean that's really what we're going to do. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So these are kind of, some of the first few parts I cleaned, then I moved on to some of this stuff. This I haven't touched yet. I wanted to show you like what, some of these turned out looking like compared to like this, which is pretty much what they started as. Some worse than others. Using like shitty little shop brushes, little brushes, like, I mean, these will actually, of course, I ripped off the label, but anyway, cheap pack of brushes, throwaway brushes, these, different bristles on them, like, you got plastic, like a brass bristle, and then I think steel bristles. But anyway, so, using really basic stuff, Q-tips, flashlight, rags, and that degreaser, it seems to turn out pretty good. I mean, you can see that I'm not, like, getting carried away. Like, look, see, this is the bottom of this where like you can see the inside still dirty, but I wiped that whole outer surface down just so it's clean to the touch. That way you can grab these without gloves and not have an issue. For me to like get these as clean as I would like them to, especially like this is a great example. I've cleaned this and this still looks like garbage. Like if I were to try and clean all this, I gotta take the wheel off, I gotta unbolt this whole thing, and it's too involved. I'm really not trying to get that in depth. It's like I wouldn't mind it, but these things are too, like I don't know enough about them. I don't want to take this apart and end up screwing something up, and then I like put myself in a bad spot. I'm basically just taking all these brushes, wiping everything down roughly. The brushes get off all the major stuff, and then after that, wipe it all down, and you kind of can come out with some end result like that. That way everything looks, moderately decent. Like this is the oil filter housing, which, for the most part is pretty good. There's some oil in there, so I need to be like mindful. But there's like a crevice in here somewhere where like, yeah, it's down in there, like kind of where my thumb is at. Places like that, I really can't get in there too well to clean it without taking it apart. And there's too many valves and springs and gizmos in there that I'm just not trying to tear apart. It's pretty much going to be just as good as I can get it. Like it's going to look considerably better than they started, when you compare 2 and 2. If you really started nitpicking it, it's just like you're gonna notice all the imperfections in a heartbeat. So kind of wanted to point that out to you. So I kind of figure I'll just show you like, a quick part of this process. Like, my goofy self ain't gonna put on gloves for this, but like if you just take like a little bit of degreaser, this brass brush, way better than the nylon. I know I said it was plastic earlier, it's not, it's nylon. But anyway, you take one of these, sit here, scrub this thing down just, pretty good in certain areas. And I'm showing you the whole thing just so you can see that, this isn't like a super long process unless you have like a lot of these weird nooks and crannies to get into. Then you need, you can't use the brushes all the time. So we literally take this. Now me, what I do is like, obviously that rag's pretty cooked. So, we'll try and find a clean section. Little bit of degreaser, not much, Wipe it down. And boom. See, it's not perfect, but that's like a quick, example. Like, see all these little spots here? If I want to get all that out, like I could really sit here and brush it for a while and get most of it. But the proper way to do it would be to like ultrasonic clean this whole thing, which 1, I don't have one, at least yet. But 2, again, you got to disassemble a lot of these parts to be able to ultrasonic clean them. And I'm just not trying to mess everything up. So the main thing is just going to be sit here scrubbing and trying to do the best that I can. That way, once it's all installed, it looks, pretty good. And whenever it does come back apart again, it's not an atrocious mess to try and do so. So that's just kind of a quick little example of, how I'm taking them apart, like bolts and whatnot. Like I've got a little glass here filled with like diluted degreaser that, obviously it's like kind of brown now, but I literally just take bolts and drop them in there. That's it. Let them sit in there, take them out after a few minutes, scrub them with the brush, and kind of go on about my way. But yeah, so this is pretty much what everything's going to turn out like, at least in the beginning, until we can either replace the parts or until I'm willing to actually disassemble them entirely and throw them in an ultrasonic cleaner. That way I can get everything like really looking mint. But this will be night and day difference compared to, you know, what it would look like, you know, even though everything's not going to be perfect. Should look a lot better. So yeah, I'll kind of give you an update once I'm done wiping this down, you know, for the most part. Show you, you know, like basically you see it now. Show you what it looks like when I'm done, and then we'll just keep going forward. Okay, just wanted to ask real quick, if someone wants to sit here and tell me, it's okay if you think I'm silly for it, but, you know, want to tell me what this is, like, you know, because I don't know, for the life of me, I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's got, like, a lot of weight to it, you know, like, you know, it's kind of difficult for me to, like, you know, lift that up and down, but, you know, I'm not sure what it is. So if someone wants to tell me what that is, just so I'm clear on that, yeah. But anyway, trying to disassemble these is just too much. You know, this I know is involved, like the oil filter housing, but this looks like a whole different animal. I mean, this probably has so much fancy shit going on the side of it that I'm not even going to put up with it. Okay, also want to point this out. If you are using a brass brush or a steel brush, anything like that, be very mindful on aluminum. Like, I do CNC machining, so I work with metal all the time. I'm actually in charge of the quality department, so I oversee quality on parts, which is partly why not getting these super clean is aggravating the hell out of me. But if you are using these brushes, more aggressive brushes, on these parts, you will scratch that material. So anything you're trying to keep not scratched up, painted, whatever it might be, don't use those brushes, because it will leave marks. You know, like stuff like this, I'm not worried about. It's already got damage on it. Even things like the oil filter housing, it's not perfect. It's not painted. I'm not worried about that. And unless you took a flashlight and really got up on it, you're never going to notice it. But I will show you like an example, like in the engine bay. Like if I were to sit here with this brush and start, you know, scraping away, like at all this crap, trying to get it clean, trying to get like this stuff clean, you know, I would scratch that to hell. You know, like, you know, you could see like with my fingernail, I could put lines in it, you know. But with this, oh no, it would be considerably worse. So just take that into consideration, that, you know, whatever you're cleaning, just be mindful of how you're doing it and how aggressive you're getting with it, because you may end up scratching something that you don't want to. So, you know, try and refrain from doing so. To give you an idea, this is what I'm doing to the bolts. Like, it's not perfect by any means, okay? We're just striving for better than what it was, you know. And as long as they're clean, I don't care if they're rusted, whatever, like they will get replaced in the future, but for right now, they're clean, they don't have crap on them, threads look good, and I'm pretty much just gonna call it, you know, on each bolt, you know. So I've got one more bolt to do for this, but this is a good example of, you know, how it came out, you know. As you can see, whatever goes in here is like a big bushing or something that goes up in here. I'm not worried about that being dirty, because guess what? It's just going to get dirty again. This whole thing is going to get dirty again, but for the most part, you know, that's what it looks like. Again, not doing all these pockets, but these outer surfaces and everything, cleaned all that up. I think it looks pretty good. You know, I mean, obviously it has all these spots on it, but I'll be honest, I even tried the steel brush, which, you know, over here, you could see, like, if I got, you know, maybe close enough, you could probably see that surface is kind of scratched. But again, from a distance, I'd say it looks pretty damn good. So I'm happy with it. So I just realized the first video I took was in portrait instead of landscape. So anyway, this is what the bolt looks like after I cleaned it. You know, obviously you're not seeing the before, but, you know, if I take one of these, you can kind of see how nasty the heads of these bolts are. You know, like all that, like little, like the rust staining and, you know, all those like nasty little bits and pieces on there, all that kind of cleans up, and it, you know, ends up turning up pretty good.
It's not perfect. It's not like a brand new bolt, but from what it was to what it is now, it's night and day difference. Once everything in here is fully assembled, back on the car, back on the motor, whatever, whatever it is, it's gonna look 10 times better than what it would have if I left it all dirty, So I think it's all gonna be worth it. I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna get back to cleaning the rest of these bolts, but for the most part, that's kind of where we're at for right now. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with some of this, with the way some of this stuff is turning out. It's considerably better than where it all started. So all in all, once everything's assembled, I think it's gonna be pretty nice. I think it'll be pretty cool until we can at least replace a lot of this stuff and get it up out the way. But that's really all I got for you, So I mean, if you made it this far, really appreciate y'all. I'm glad y'all are sticking with it because it's a slow process right now. But once we have the motor back, it's gonna get pretty exciting pretty quickly. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, so I'll quit boring y'all and I'll catch y'all in the next one.